Guys, I'm going to bring on our final act for this bracket. Very excited to see him. He's all the way from Zimbabwe via Canada. Please put your hands together for Mufaro Mbudzi. Make some noise!
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate the warm welcome. It's crazy being out here in Australia, man. It's beautiful. First things first, I want to say I wear skinny jeans, but I do have both balls. It's funny because sometimes people will be like, yo, that shit can make you sterile, you know? Like, I didn't know that shit, but it's kind of good news because I hate wearing condoms, you know? But it's just like, you gotta fuck, you know? You gotta feel that shit, you know what I mean? The other guy was saying, like, you know, Anne Frank's the most famous little girl or some shit. That's also bullshit. I think it's definitely Madeleine McCann. She definitely gets the prize on that one. But I'm sorry she will not be here tonight to accept it. I swear I'm never having kids, man, because, like, I love to travel, man. Like, shit. One story gone viral can make you so paranoid. It's crazy. But I'm happy to be here in Australia, man. It's beautiful. I think the only thing so far is, like, that I don't like is, like, my accommodation situation's been very weird, you know. Like, this shit is much nicer than my hostel, I'll tell you that. Like, I might stay the night here, you know what I mean? But, like, legit though, like, I came, first couple of days, I was staying with my sister, you know. My sister's pregnant right now. She's due tomorrow. That's why she couldn't make it tonight. And it's like, it's so interesting, because for me, like, I wanted to stay with her a bit longer, but, like, I smoke. And, you know, I don't want to be the reason the baby's born with 2 dicks or some shit like that, you know? I mean, like, I know people are okay with that shit here in Australia, but, like, my family's from Zimbabwe, so, you know, we ain't really about that life. But it's... But people are beautiful, though, no matter how they're born or how they end up changing shape or whatever, you know? But it's interesting, you know, because, like, I've met so many people, like, especially at the hostel, you know? Like, at the hostel, there's just lots of people, man. Like, there's French people, there's Australians. Like, any Australian who's staying at the hostel, like, I just assume their life is over. Unless they've come from Sydney or some shit, but, like, you know, but the locals, like people who grew up in Melbourne and they're staying at the hostel, I'm like, damn, bro, like, at least be from Byron Bay or some shit, you know? Like, it's crazy, but, like, it's so interesting, because, like, in my room, I stay across these 2 girls, pretty-ass girls. They're in the crowd tonight, like, right over there as well. And, you know, it's so interesting, because, like, they found out I do comedy, and they're like, oh, tell us a joke. Like, tell us a joke. I was like, ah, shit. Like, I usually tell I'm black, but I won't be long shit, right? But I was like, man, I can't say that one because, like, they're going to think I'm hitting on them, you know? And, like, I can't do that until I've got 3 days left in the country. Because you don't want to be in a situation where you're chilling in your room for a whole 2 weeks seeing the girls that rejected you. You know what I mean? I've met so many French people, too. With the French people, it's mad interesting, you know? Like, they basically have, and this is a subconscious thing that they're probably not aware of, but they have an inferiority complex when anyone who's international speaks English better than them. So when I met them, you know, they assumed that I spoke French, which is a compliment for me because I'm learning to speak French. But then the more I started to chill with these guys, I realized, like, yo, these guys were basically not assuming that I'm as educated as I am, you know? I know that's an egotistical thing to say, but, like, I was just thinking about it because, you know, if you go back in history, the French people, when they went to a place and they settled, unlike the British who wanted to, like, take over society and make it theirs, the French would leave their culture and all that shit. So pretty much I was like, God damn, like, if they know I speak better English than them, then they think I'm not one of them. So I was like, fuck, you know? And it's hard, because, like, I'd be chilling with these guys, you know, like, we'd be playing poker. Like, I was playing poker with these guys. I couldn't understand the French, you know? That shit hurt me because the only part I understood was when everyone got up and we all did a line of coke together downstairs. I was like, God damn, it's crazy, man. And it's interesting how like people's English will kick in when they need something from you. Because sometimes we'll just be chilling and I'm like, I have never heard this guy say a word of English. And then the dude will be like, hey bro, you got a lighter? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And then we smoke and shit. And then the same guy, I'm chilling with him this one night after we smoke, and he's listening to my music, which is hip hop. And we're listening to Travis Scott, and I be chilling with my headphones on like the whole time. Bam. Just listening, you know. There's a song by Travis Scott called Stop Trying to Be God. I'm listening to this shit, and then this French guy next to me, he takes my headphones, he puts them on, and he's like, oh, god damn, it's good, bro, it's good. And then he takes them off. And I'm like, it's good, right? He's like, yeah, shit, nigger. And at that point, I'm like, I'm so conditioned. Like, I still think he's speaking French. So I'm like, shit, yo, nigger, what's that in English, you know? And then at that point, you know, like the French, I'm sorry, the English ability just kicks back to its usual, like, vibration, which is I can't speak English anymore. So it's weird how that works, man. Because, like, sometimes you can get lost in translation with people. Like, I was telling this guy yesterday, like, yo, I've got 1 week left in Australia, and I'm looking forward to the week. He's like, looking for what? I'm like, no. Like, I'm not looking for anything. Like, I'm looking forward to the week. He's like, sorry, bro. I don't have any weed. Only ketamine. It's like, shit, man. I kind of felt good, you know, because, like, that was the first time in Australia I've had a conversation about ketamine where the person I'm talking to doesn't assume that I'm selling. I was like, shit, this is nice, man. Because, like, I swear, like, every night I've gone out to the club, you know, everyone always asks me if I'm selling drugs. And it's like, I don't know, man. You know, there's a part of me that's like, shit, you know, these people think I've got good salesmanship. So that's kind of a compliment. But at the same time, I'm like, God damn, like, is this subtle racism, you know? Because in Australia, the subtle racism is way more advanced than in Canada. Yes, so yeah, and that's what I was gonna say, is like, by way more advanced, I mean it's more subtle than it is in Canada. You know what I mean? Thank you guys so much. I'll be chilling, having drinks, whatever, after the show.